I guess it was. How long did you stay at the facility? Was it more than 2 weeks?
I think it was just over 3.
Oh, just over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So is this? I know you have a long season ahead, but does this make it worth it?
I think I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah, it's one of those things where you're forced to do football, and it's not so much being forced to do it because their sole mission is to win here, and I love football.
When did you find out you were starting, Evan, and how emotional was it for you?
I think it was Sunday last week. Right away, I called my parents. Just fired up for me with quite the college career. It's a pretty cool moment. Called my grandpa. He started crying. So it was pretty cool. Really cool.
Well, Evan, you reported a career-high 6 touchdowns today. How does that feel, and what does that move to with the work you put in?
Yeah, a really special moment. I don't think it's set in quite yet. I tried my best to just stay in the moment and not worry about, the future today. And, that was kind of my message to the guys on the sideline and the locker room. And, you just got to take it play by play. And Coach Walker, he's fantastic. And, this place is changing.
When did you sort of feel it today? You pregame or because you came right out?
I noticed something about myself today. I wasn't so amped up, pregame and stuff, just really confident. I think that's what it was, and just bringing others with, really. So, just fantastic job with the O-line. They were fantastic today. They can't get enough credit. Receivers, you name it, tight ends, they were making plays and, making one another look good. So it was pretty fun today.
What can you say about how Jacoby played? No Kevin today. That's his first game, first start, and from where we could see, just looked like he played very well.
Yeah, it started early, 2-3 weeks ago. He knew he was going to play, so, really proud of him as a young guy. I remember when he first got here, watching him run in warm-ups. I'm like, okay, this kid, he's got a little something to him, so he's got a bright future ahead of him. Again, super proud of him, and it's a tough position to be in as a freshman, playing offensive line at the Division I level, so pretty cool for him.
Does Peter Clark make it, he's a pretty easy target in a sense?
Yeah, how about the Brit today? He had one heck of a game, and he's been doing that stuff, all training camp, spring ball, so not surprised. Just another fantastic human being. He's got quite the story to him, which we've heard this training camp. Really awesome to see from him today.
What does Jay do for you guys, especially when you get that goal line stop and he pops off that long run? Just to have him, you guys went to him early. What does he do for you as a quarterback?
Yeah, you give him the ball, up the gut. He's going to get a couple yards. He's going to spit one as well. You throw him the ball. He'll do some great stuff with it too. So he's fantastic for the locker room. Can't say enough about him. Just an overall fantastic human, and glad he's a part of this team.
You were able to get multiple receivers involved in the game. How did it feel to throw not one but 2 touchdowns to both your tight ends?
Yeah, pretty cool. It's a reflection of their training, and it's between we're on break and training camp, going to get lunch, and they're out there walking through. So, it's just really cool to see their work pay off, and we got a long road ahead of us. We got Howard next week, so we got 24 hours to move on, and really cool to see from the tight end room.
What's your thought process going into Howard next week?
We'll get on the tape, just like every other week. We'll get on the tape. I'm not too sure what they did this past week. I know they played Florida A&M or someone like that, and we're going to treat them like the national champ. We got to go back to back. We have to.
What are you looking to carry on from today's game into next week?
Yeah, didn't pitch a perfect game. On the headset with Coach Walker, there's a lot of things that need cleaned up. A lot of me specifically, and we'll just take it snap by snap next week. So, and it comes with a great week of practice, so we'll be ready to roll.
You mentioned during the week having a knowledge base of Coach Harris-Simiak and their defense and calls. Did that come to fruition at all during the game?
There's a lot going on in the game. we were given a great platter on film to watch, which what we saw today. So coaches did a fantastic job preparing us for what we're going to see. We watched a lot of Rutgers. We watched a lot of Maine. Just a fantastic job of preparation on their part.
So does that sound a yes or no? That wasn't a yes
What's
or
that?
no. Is that a yes or no?
Yes and no. I mean, you get so caught up in the game, it's, a lot of factors go into, the pre-snap process and stuff like that. So sometimes you don't have enough time, but yes and no.
What does this mean to you in the grand scheme of things? You had started at Rutgers before in the Big Ten, lost the job there. You started last year, but then you still had to compete for this job and won it. So you've never been on this 3-year heater of just being the starter all the time, and you still have to compete for it. Again, like you said, you have a long road ahead of you guys. But what does it mean to just scrap for the job and then do what you did today?
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago I had a pretty cool moment just with myself, and I had this flashback to where, it's my parents and my high school head coach and myself, and we were just going through, where I'm going to commit to school, and one of the things my high school coach said that I just remembered, he was like, you could go to, a smaller school and play, or, change the program around, or you could go to Rutgers and, fight it out, blah, blah, blah. But it all kind of came full circle what my purpose is, and it's to change this sucker around. So it's a pretty cool flashback. You can't make it up, and that's my sole mission. It's, being realistic, NFL, there's a lot of great quarterbacks, but, that'll take care of itself, whatever. But I'm here to change this program around, and we're excited. You had one more question. I heard you. You good?
I did not have one more question.
I got
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Thanks, guys.